Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Books Are the Basis Week 2024. This is an initiative by the ISKCON Ministry of Education. And today we have wonderful speakers with us on this talk on the topic of educational institute. You know, we take different perspectives on what is the importance of reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And today we will look from the perspective of having different directors of educational institutes and looking at this way on the study of Prabhupada's books, systematic study of Srila Prabhupada's books. So thank you so much. We are very grateful to have you all with us. We have with us, just briefly introduce our speakers. We have with us His Holiness Yadunandan Maharaj from Spain. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Maharaj is the director of the Instituto de Estudios Bhaktivedanta, in an educational institute in Spain. And Maharaj has been studying and practicing Krishna consciousness since 1977, received initiation in 78 from His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami, and then later in 2009 accepted sannyas from His Holiness Chayadvaita Maharaj. And Maharaj's journey has always been centered around education. Maharaj was one of the original developers of the Vaishnava training and education programs. Maharaj also served as the principal of the Bhaktivedanta College in Radhadesh for many years. Maharaj also served as the European Minister of Education. And Maharaj also serves as a teacher, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Shastri teacher at the Mayapur Institute in Mayapur, and also at the Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education. Maharaj is also an author of this book, Sannyasa in Modernity, a study on sannyas in ISKCON. And Maharaj lives in New Brajamandala in Spain. He's also an initiating spiritual master in ISKCON and focus on preaching and traveling in Spain and in Spanish language. So we're very grateful to have you with us, Maharaj.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just one detail about the initiation. Actually, I took initiation in 79 from Bhagavan Prabhu, Bhagavan Maharaj at the time. Then when he left, I took the initiation from Satsvarupa Maharaj in 1989, just for precise.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Then we also have with us His Grace Padmanabhan Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you also for joining us. Padmanabhan Prabhu is the director of the Mayapur Institute. And Padmanabhan Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Radha Govinda Das Goswami, originally from Orissa. Has an academic journey. His includes the completion of the Bachelor in Science Mathematics from the Utkal University, and then joined ISKCON in 1994 and did various different services, Mayapur, guest house, book distribution, international devotee and guest care department, and then also did his studies and teaching. And today, as we said, serves as the director of the Mayapur Institute. He's also an active preacher, travels internationally. I think right now you're in Europe, right, Prabhu? Every year spends a couple of months traveling, preaching, encouraging devotees. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for also joining us for this call. And then we have also...
Thank you for inviting me to join with these esteemed Vaishnavas on this auspicious program today.
Thank you for joining us. And then we also have His Grace Rajasundar Prabhu with us. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for also joining us. Rajasundar Prabhu was born in a Brahminic family and then also did his diploma, bachelor, master's degree in information technology, along practicing Krishna consciousness at that time, and joined ISKCON in 2002 and received initiation in 2007 from His Holiness Radha Govinda Das Goswami. And Prabhu is very active in many different ways. He serves at the Sannyasi Ministry as the secretary and in many different other international, national committees. And he's the director of the ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya, which is also an educational institute that is very active in many different ways. And Prabhu is also traveling around the world, different places, sharing especially the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Prabhu is also an author of several books, also focusing on study of Bhagavatam. So we're very happy to also have you with us. Another wonderful Vaishnava who is dedicating his life to education and sharing and spreading the culture of reading. So yeah, I mentioned in the beginning, I'm very excited to have all three of you with us. I think we have a very good, I feel privileged to be in that association. All right, so I think, as we said, we'll talk about, of course, the importance of Srila Prabhupada's books and the reading of Prabhupada's books. This is the focus of our initiative. Books are the basis. And today we want to do it from the perspective of systematic study. And you all have a lot of experience in that, in teaching and studying. Maybe, Yadunanand Maharaj, we could maybe start with you, that you could just briefly give a little introduction into your the institute that you're heading, when it was founded, and what are the courses you offer, or the focus of your teaching and sharing knowledge. Yeah.
Yes, the Instituto de Estudios Bhaktivedanta offers courses on Srila Prabhupada's books, like Bhakti Shastri courses, Bhakti Vaibhava. We intend in the future to offer also Bhaktivedanta courses, but we go step by step. The Institute was founded in 2011 in Spain. We started with residential courses. We had the students both from Spain and from South America and Central America. And the beginning years, we operated more on site, but since the COVID period, we're more active online. Actually, mostly we're offering courses online with participants from all the Spanish-speaking world.
Mm.
So if you know devotees who don't speak English and they speak Spanish, you can send them to us. We help them in their journey of reading and studying systematically Srila Prabhupada's books.
So you have students not only from Spain, but also from South America and all over the world. Yeah.
Yes, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Mexico, some Spanish-speaking devotees living in the US as well, like that.
Thank you so much. I think it's quite important because we focus very much on English. Of course, it's the global language in a way. But yeah, I think it's very valuable to have these kind of initiatives where we focus on this particular language to reach as many devotees as we can and give them also a chance to study. Thank you so much. Yes, Padmanayan Prabhu, you'd like to say a few words about the Mayapur Institute. Of course, it's a very, very well-known institute in our movement.
Yes, this Mayapur Institute started in 2000 for the last 24 years. Now we are entering the 25th. We have been operating, and we're going to celebrate our Silver Jubilee in 2025.
Okay.
Journey have been quite steady, and it is growing very nicely, because Prabhupada wanted to have one institution in Mayapur to invite devotees from all over the world to study his books. Primarily, we are dedicated to teach Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's purports. As Maharaj mentioned, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, all these until Bhakti Vedanta, the courses are being offered now. And also we are going to soon launch Bhakti Sarvabhauma, dedicated to the study of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Currently, we have both on-site and online program running in full swing. We have been offering courses in many different languages. Of course, in English is the primary language for the course, where we get devotees from all over the world, from different nations, those who are fluent in English. They come, they stay in the campus. We have accommodation facility, prasadam facility. We have classroom So everything is there in campus. Those who come, they get this benefit. And those who cannot come, we have online facility for them. And mostly our faculties are, senior members in ISKCON, like, sannyasis, gurus, and some senior brahmacharis. Some grahasthas are also those who are experienced in Prabhupada's philosophy, Prabhupada's books. They are our teachers. As far as language is concerned, we are offering in English, Hindi, Bengali, Chinese, Japanese, Russian. So many different languages courses are being offered currently, and also we are in the mood of expanding the institution. Now we are thinking to start what Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur wanted us to teach. He has given a very elaborate curriculum. So this is just a brief idea about how we started and where we are today. And I hope, since Prabhupada wanted to have this in Mayapur, and at one point he had expressed his desire to have this as an university. So if by the blessing of the devotees we can get some mercy, maybe one day we will be able to fulfill this desire of Prabhupada to bring it up to operating as a full-fledged autonomous university in Mayapur.
Jai. Thank you for sharing the history and also the vision of the Mayapur Institute. Yeah, very important service. It's Prabhupada's vision to be fulfilled. Thank you. Yep. Then we have also Rajasundar Prabhu. You like to share a few thoughts on the ISKCON Mahabhagat Vidyalaya? That I think you have started that. This is a project that you yourself have started, right?
So when Prabhupada was at Radha Damodar temple, he had plans to establish an institute in the Radha Damodar premises. But then the then management of Radha Damodar, they refused to do that. And so that desire remained with Prabhupada in Prabhupada's heart. 8 years later, he told to Srila Prabhu that he wants to establish a ISKCON Bhagavat college. And this was also written by Mahanadi Maharaj, and Ravindra Prabhu also mentioned in his books. So we started ISKCON Bhagavat Mahavidyalaya in 2017 actually. The desire came up because it was a desire of my dear friend and Gaur Krishnadas Goswami. He left the world after his sannyas. It was his desire that there should be a Bhagavat college. So we were not aware of that. Prabhupada also desired the same. So we took permission from the senior Vaishnavas from all across the globe, and also the blessings of my spiritual master. And then our efforts to commence started in 2018. And we got permission from the authorities in Vrindavan and in India. And that's how we started Bhagavat Mahavidyalaya in Govardhan. So initially it was in Vrindavan, then we shifted to Govardhan. And the COVID came, and the COVID time was the biggest boost. We shifted to, we had on-site, but we also shifted to online. And today the figures are very different. We never thought, there are a lot of difficult times. I will not say the life was smooth. We all have a struggle. Running institute is not easy. Struggles are always there. But today we have 3 branches across the world. In India, in Govardhan, in Europe, in Himachalam, and North America, in Billund, Florida. And we have independent teams operating. We have 40,000 plus students across the globe. We have more than 200 plus teachers teaching with us. We have around 1,000 plus courses we already conducted in almost all the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya's books, which can be presented to the audience. We have already covered them. And our focus is 3 now: on-site, online, and self-paced. Where our construction, our campus has been constructed in Govardhan. Right now, I'm hopeful that 1.5 years from now we'll have our campus with us, and staying facilities, hostel facility, auditorium, and so many other things we are building. So I seek blessings from all of you. You're all very Actually, all of you are inspiration. I'm just an insignificant student of Srimad Bhagavatam. All of you who have contributed, Padmanabhan Maharaj, Prashanta Mataji, they have been my inspiration, and I give the credit to all of you. I don't take any credit for this. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah, so there is many different educational institutes are coming up. In some way, we can say a healthy competition, because it's we want to spread the message, and devotees should get chance to study and learn and teach. And in some way, I think it's healthy that we have different initiatives, different institutions that doing this service. All right. Yeah, maybe. Of course, it would be interesting to see how you personally became part of this institute, or in some way we already heard some of you started the institute or have been there for many years. So maybe we can just start with talking about the importance of Prabhupada's books, in the sense of in what ways have Srila Prabhupada's books impacted the lives of devotees, or kind of in what ways do you feel that Prabhupada's books or Prabhupada's translation and commentaries are unique in the way Prabhupada has presented? Just maybe a few thoughts of everyone about the importance of Prabhupada's books. Who likes to start? Maharaj, you would share some thoughts?
Yes. I mean, what comes to mind is that without Srila Prabhupada's books, I will not be able to offer whatever little devotional service I'm offering by the mercy of my spiritual masters and the devotees is due to Srila Prabhupada's books. I remember in the beginning, I went through a rough period when I was living in the temple. I went to live to the temple when I was 15 years old. And 15.
Wow.
15. So naturally, for a teenager, it's a challenge. Like I was very enthusiastic to live in the temple, but also it was a challenge. And what gave me some solid basis was to read Srila Prabhupada's books every day, at least 1 hour. So that systematic reading gave me a solid basis, which contributed to the possibility of offering services in ISKCON in education. I started as a Bhakta leader in Spain for several years and associated with more experienced educators in Europe. Rohini Nandan Prabhu from the UK, Srila Prabhupada's disciple. He was running a very solid Bhakta program in the UK. So learned from him, and he had compiled a very substantial handbook for new devotees. So like that, all this studying and teaching nourished my Bhakti Kripa, and this contributes to nourishing the Bhakti Kripa of other people, other devotees. So it is the basis, the essence. Without Srila Prabhupada's books, we will be nowhere in our movement.
Thank you. Yeah, books are the basis. This is our motto. So you nicely kind of emphasize this point, how it is really the case. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, Padmanabhan Prabhu or Brajasundar Prabhu, any thoughts on how Srila Prabhupada's books have impacted your life and the life of devotees in general, the importance?
Padmanabhan, you want to go ahead, please?
So, yes, since Maharaj explained, I also find it Srila Prabhupada's books have transformative power. I don't see they're just like any text we find in any other books. Rather, as I personally study Prabhupada's book, they are a means to cultivate higher consciousness and a deeper understanding of our purpose in life. Srila Prabhupada's books actually inspire us from many different angles. For example, any devotee, they can take the study of Prabhupada's books that will lay a foundation, spiritual foundation for them. That we have seen how from the early days, Prabhupada started this organization, and he has been always giving emphasis on to publishing and distributing his books. Through his books, we can see guidance for our daily living. Many practical explanations are there. By studying Bhaktivedanta purports, devotees learn how to apply spiritual principles in their daily lives. Also, not only our devotees, sometimes some outsiders who may not be ISKCON devotees, when they come across Prabhupada's books, they find, oh, it is securing humanity. Yes, Prabhupada's books are not only for ISKCON members, anybody can read. They can get inspiration. They feel empowerment through Prabhupada's books. That's how we can see today, not only Prabhupada is known through amongst ISKCON devotees, but he is well known even in outside circle also. When it comes to building community, building unity amongst different group of people in the world, it has been used as a very inspirational teachings. And many times we have seen also Prabhupada's books have gained popularity in intellectual circle. It provides also intellectual engagement, those who are philosophically inclined. As I mentioned, also personal transformation. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada's books are, you can say, at one point, just one source where anyone from any walks of life can get benefit from. This is how I have seen it.
Thank you. Actually, the vision of the Ministry of Education is also that Srila Prabhupada's books one day become the most widely read books on spirituality in the world. That would be the long-term goal. So as you said, it's these books are for everyone. Of course, in order to reach such a goal, first, as a devotees, we should certainly read them and imbibe them, and hopefully more and more people will also understand the importance. Yeah.
Just to add one more point, because you mentioned this. Yes, unless we read Prabhupada's books, we will not know the treasure, the value it has in it. And I don't see these Prabhupada's books are only for the adults. Even some children can read it. As you know, Prabhupada has given these explanations on the purpose in a very simple language. He's not giving a very hi-fi English that you have to refer to dictionary always to understand what he's saying. And sometimes children can also understand what Prabhupada is speaking. Many children also in our society, they are studying nowadays. I mean to say, Prabhupada is like Krishna. Krishna is approachable by anyone. Prabhupada's books are like that. I see like as Krishna is approached by small person, big person, educated, uneducated, anyone can approach Krishna. Similarly, anyone can approach the Prabhupada's book. This is what Prabhupada's the purpose are.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Prashasundar Prabhu?
Actually, Prabhupada ji, he delivered the Srila Prabhupada ji, he delivered English language by writing commentary in Srimad Bhagavatam in that language. Because if you see English compared to Devanagari and other languages, English is not that respectable language. But Prabhupada ji, he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam in it, and now it is glorious that all the English-speaking world, they can understand Krishna by studying his books. So, books of His Divine Grace, I mean, it is a big contribution. Writing a commentary on each verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not easy. It is not a simple thing to do that. And especially when we know that Prabhupada ji had only did what he did in 11 years, and he wrote the whole commentary on almost the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a very big achievement. Otherwise, as Padmanabhan Prabhu rightly said, referring to previous acharyas and having understanding of Sanskrit and so many different things, would have been very, very challenging for devotees in general, and Bhagavad Dharma couldn't spread so easily. But because of the access to the most hidden treasure of Srimad Bhagavatam in the language which can be understandable to all, life has become very easy. But the other problem has arisen that people have forgot to read it. Even in our Hare Krishna devotees, they have no taste for reading. And that's why when they don't read, their soul is not nourished. And then a lot of things like fault finding and this and that. Otherwise, this is a glorious moment. And so everything is in Prabhupada's books. And the best way to understand everything is in his books, and everything especially is in the Bhagavatam, is to read them scrutinizingly. And it's best to read under the guidance of a devotee. I have received fortune to study for 12 years under the guidance of my spiritual master and Gaur Krishna Das Goswami. Since 2007 up to he departed, my Gaur Krishna Maharaj departed, I saw how he read Bhagavatam from Prabhupada's purports. And when he used to speak, give seminars on Bhagavatam, I have seen practically he was not even looking at the purports, but he has everything. He has read it so many times that he was everything was in his mind, and the Lord was speaking from his heart. So I was very inspired by this. So everything is in his books, everything is in the books of Prabhupada. And to know that, we have to read them.
Thank you. I think this brings us to the next question, because you already mentioned the importance of reading in the association. Because the Ministry of Education, this whole initiative, Books are the Basis, we are trying to encourage devotees to read more. You mentioned that devotees have forgotten to read nowadays, so we try to encourage to read more. So where do you see the role of the educational institutes in regard to encouraging devotees to read more? We can talk about this. Of course, in some way it's obvious, because all these institutes, they offer courses and study of Srila Prabhupada's books. But yeah, maybe we can talk a bit about this, the role or the importance of systematic studying together in the association of devotees.
Yes, my experience in that regard is that devotees who otherwise will not read much or will barely read, they start reading and studying systematically Srila Prabhupada's books. And also a very supportive Sangha is created. Even now, having online courses, many devotees make friendship with other devotees on the basis of discussing Srila Prabhupada's books during the classes, and they help each other, and basically it expands very much the sadhu sangha within the movement by studying together Srila Prabhupada's books. And educational institutes certainly contribute a lot because it's a very strong supportive factor in the life of the devotees which could choose to take any of the educational courses.
Yeah, I like how you said it expands the sadhu sangha in our movement, because that's actually what it is. No, devotees come together, they hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, they study together. Yeah, very important point. Thank you. I also made the experience that, students of Bhakti Shastri courses, when the course is over, they say, like this weekly meeting, this was like the highlight of the week, coming together and rehearing and, having this association can be a very powerful way to nourish devotees. Yeah. Thank you. Padmanabhan Prabhu, what are your experiences in this regard?
Yes, when devotees, they come together, they study Prabhupada's books. There are many areas we can see in this connection, especially in terms of taking guidance and inspiration from Prabhupada's purports. Srila Prabhupada Books actually provides continuous guidance and inspiration for devotees who regularly study his books. As I said, they are not just simple texts. Why I said that it gives us guidance and inspiration as we continue reading. We have this famous pastime of Srila Prabhupada. One time he was reading his own books. I don't remember who was his, the direct disciple asked Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, these are your own books, still you study them? And Prabhupada's reply was, these are not my words, these are Krishna's words. Krishna has dictated and I have just compiled these words. That means even Prabhupada's own purports were guidance and inspiration for himself. So therefore, when we regularly study his books, we continue to get guidance and inspiration to take deep dives into our spiritual life because they address various aspects of life, including moral conduct, devotional practices, personal challenges, helping devotees navigate their spiritual journey with confidence and clarity. So also it has got a missionary spirit. As we read, we can understand what Prabhupada is expecting from his followers. So in this way, everybody, by reading Prabhupada's books, they become empowered to nurture their own spiritual life, and also they can be used as an instrument in the hands of Guru and Gauranga to guide and inspire other people, providing them support in spiritual education.
Powerful point that Srila Prabhupada himself found inspiration in his purports. So if Prabhupada finds inspiration, why not we, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Why did we read it regularly? Yes, this is very important.
Yeah. I also like how you emphasize the mood and mission. When we do systematic studies, we have these different study aims, different goals of study. One is understanding Prabhupada's mood and mission. How will devotees understand Prabhupada's mood and mission if they don't read his books? It will be very difficult. But in the purpose, we find always these jewels where Prabhupada really gives some personal,
Even one more point can be said in this connection. We see Prabhupada has not done anything, something like on his own, coming from his intellectual power. Rather, when we see Prabhupada has given a lot of emphasis on to following the predecessor acharyas, right? What do you say? Parampara. His knowledge is received through parampara. He has, when we read Prabhupada's purports, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, of course, in Srimad Bhagavatam, he has mostly referred to Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. But if you read Bhagavad Gita, Baldev Vidyabhushan, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sridhar Swami comment. I mean to say, all Acharya's commentaries are, incorporated as an essence, and it has become Bhaktivedanta purport. We don't need to read anything separately. Because when we read some other comments also, we can see how Prabhupada is, in essence, given the description of all the previous Acharyas' commentaries. So he is actually is the upholder of the Guru Parampara knowledge that is flowing through this body of Vaishnava tradition. That's also another, useful, very powerful journey one can experience by studying Prabhupada's books.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So much tattva, so much essence when we read Prabhupada's purports. Yeah. Prajasundar Prabhu.
So, in India, there are various railway stations. There are some railway stations that are named as junction. In junction, what happens? Let's say a train is coming from this direction and it has to travel in a parallel direction. It doesn't want to go further. The train engine has been taken out, put on a parallel track, brought it behind, and then put it across from the last bogie. And then the direction, the tracks are changed and the directions are changed and the train starts moving. So educational institutes are like that junction. When people are practicing Krishna consciousness, they aspire to become devotees. But this, you can understand, Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education, MI, has been contributing the last so many years. And so Yadunandan Maharaj himself has been in the field of education. Bhaktivedanta College also has transformed and helped so many hundreds of devotees, thousands of devotees. So they're like junction where a person can become, a devotee can become very serious in understanding scriptures, understanding the mood of the acharyas, understanding the mission of ISKCON and the parampara. So education institutes are very, very special. And yes, you mentioned that it's competition going on, but it's a healthy competition, and it is good because we should have hundreds of institutions like that, not just few, but hundreds of institutions like that, which becomes a junction which will transform the lives of so many devotees and make them into missionaries. And there are so many great devotees who are spending time, quality time. The devotees get association of in Bhagavatam classes, the traveling preachers, they come and they go, right? Some senior sadhus, they come and they go. But here in the Education Institute, the devotees, they spend quality time with the students. They teach them, they help them understand the various aspects of the scriptures that they are studying. That actually transforms. That actually transforms the life of individual. So education institutes, really, they are playing a very crucial role, and we need hundreds of them. We need hundreds of them. And there is no competition. Krishna will maintain everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, it can be really a turning point for devotees when they start to do a systematic study in the association of devotees. Now, we spoke about having these different institutes. You mentioned the VIHE, the Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education, of course, was the first institute, I believe, that was established in Vrindavan itself, and for many, many years has offered wonderful service and still going on that way. And yeah, we see with the example of Yadunandan Maharaj having an institute in a specific language. I think it's also very helpful to have focus on a specific group of devotees. And I also know that the Mahabhagat Vidyalaya has a European branch also, where we also want to have more different languages like German and France. And so I think that also another aspect which it's important to focus on for the Mayapur Institute, I was surprised you said even Chinese and Japan, you have courses, which, I think that's what Prabhupada wanted. Prabhupada wanted his books would be translated in all the languages, and similarly, these courses should be offered in many different languages. Now, every institute also has his own character, we can say, or certain style or certain mood, right? And maybe sometimes also a little bit different style of teaching, because there is a traditional approach. The senior speaker just speaks, the listener listen. We have maybe more modern approaches where we have more, exercises or interactive aspects. So would you maybe like to share in your experience what teaching methods are most effective in conveying this, philosophical aspects of Prabhupada's books? Any thoughts on a teaching style or methods that you personally use in your teaching?
Yeah, I think one important consideration that I think all the institutes will agree, that we don't want students just to memorize the books, but to understand them and to apply them in real life.
Yeah.
So what I found, and maybe that's it's more like a personal opinion and style of presenting the books. I like lots of discussion, like to involve the students to present the topic, but to do it in a way that they will be actively involved in the discussions, so that they assimilate more, and also to have some sessions where they share among themselves, because this is like churning the milk. And so these interactive methods, I find them important. And if we look at the Srimad Bhagavatam and in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, what's going on is actually discussions, questions and answers. So it is quite interactive, the traditional method of transmitting the transcendental knowledge.
And I think it's an important point you mentioned, Maharaj, that and we also heard before, studying it's meant for transformation. So the idea is that not only the students just learn something and then they can reproduce it at the exam and write it down, but they should deeply understand. So how do you make sure that devotees experience a transformation or really apply knowledge in their lives? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, we can take the horse to the water to drink, but then the horse has to drink. We can how much they will apply, but it's important to present the books in a way which will be inspiring to the students to apply them. After a time, they feel, yes, I'm living the books. I'm it's part of my life. It's part of myself, of my personal values.
Yeah, but they can understand this is relevant for me, and they know how to apply it in their lives. Yeah. Thank you. Very important. Yes. Mayapur Institute, what are you doing there to?
Yes, we have learned through our experience. When I first got involved in my just last 10 years of experience, I can tell you, 14 years of experience. See, day by day, the concentration span of the students are being reduced. So as time goes on, we are actually always trying to find a new way of catching students' attention in the classroom environment, which is therefore this teaching methodology is not only centered around one's way, one style. Definitely, there are different methodology we use, as Maharaj mentioned. Question and answer session it helps in a great deal because students like to participate in the class, and sometimes teacher also need to speak, just give a lecture, deliver a lecture for maybe 10-15 minutes on a particular thing, subject, and then we open up for the discussion. And as Maharaj mentioned, we not only just teach them something, rather we are very much inclined to ensure that they apply those principles in their life. Real life applications means our teachers, they encourage students to apply the teachings in their daily lives and share their experiences. Sometimes we ask them to go through some role-playing, use role-playing exercise to simulate situations where philosophical principles can be applied. For example, we give them different scenario in classroom and in temple atmosphere, how they would like to apply these standards of devotional service. So like that. And sometimes we give them some experiential learning lesson. Means the teacher will ask them a question where students will describe their experience in regard to that particular concept, then what general principle can be drawn, how they're going to apply in their daily life, like that. And some experiential learning exercise also we do experiment by taking them in parikramas, seeing the holy places, seeing how the devotees, Dhambasis are leading their life. Sometimes we engage them in distributing prasadam. So this is some experiential learning way of imparting knowledge. And of course, we use our multimedia presentation. And when it comes to teaching, for example, nectropy instruction, well, there Goswami speaks about this, you can say, taking personal guidance from the senior Vaishnavas, inquiring in confidence. So this Dadati Patigrihati principle. So these things are practiced in the classroom environment, so that students can assimilate the subject very clearly. And also we have this assessment and feedback system where students feel more comfortable to share with the teachers what they have learned, what can be done better. So it's like a constant improvement process, I would say, not that one static thing every time we have to use the same thing. Sometimes different audience have different inclination, different capacity to assimilate subject. So based on the students' inclination, our teachers, they try to implement the methodology so that the effectiveness of the learning experience of the students can be enhanced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine, especially in a Mayapur Institute where you have a very international audience also, you may have to adjust also with whom is the audience. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Right. So when we started Bhagat Mahavidyalaya, we had a very specific way of teaching. Our focus was Sanskrit and Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam we used to teach with Prabhupada and the commentaries of the previous acharyas. So Prabhupada's commentaries also how we used to teach, that letting the students know where from is Prabhupada taking this particular paragraph in the purport. So the So we used to make the in-depth analysis. Our teachers used to make in-depth analysis of Prabhupada's purports and from which acharyas are presenting, Prabhupada is presenting in the purport. So in this way, the students get a very detailed and thorough understanding about how, and they have their faith increases. That this is very much in line with the writings of the previous acharyas, and that mood was been carrying forward. As this happens in our on-site batches. Right now, we're constructing our project. So once the construction is over, again we'll resume our on-site batches, and we teach also Sandarbhas. Along with that, the Sandarbhas plays a very crucial role with Srimad Bhagavatam, understanding Srimad Bhagavatam through different angles and clearing all the doubts and everything. So that's how we focus on site. Online, the audience is different. The audience is completely different, because on-site audience, they come, they spend their time, they're completely conscious of what they are here for and the time they're utilizing. So it's a different audience and it's a different ballgame altogether. But when we switch to the online thing, so the audience are different. Then the mood is very clear that whichever stage they are in, students they are in, whichever part of the world they are in, and whichever stage they are in, how we can take them to the next level of their understanding, of the next level of their nourishment. So that's the goal with which we are progressing. And these days, more than online now, the self-paced has taken over the world, especially not in our society, but outside the world. There are the big institutes. They started self-paced academies and everything. So that's the next move, where the world is heading towards. So the dynamics of the world are changing. So we have to adopt to the new ways and techniques to suit the time, place, and circumstances. But the core thing should always remain, and that is whichever medium we are using. But the core thing should always remain is that sticking to the actual mission with which the society was started, actual mission with which the institute was started, and I think the main goal is to propagate the Bhagavad Dharma and inspire devotees, life of devotees, to take shelter of Bhagavad and propagate the message of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you. I think that brings us to the maybe last point. Our time is almost running out, but you mentioned about we have to adapt to the present situation, the changes, the world is constantly changing. So maybe towards the end, we could just discuss this point briefly in the sense of what are the challenges that we face. It was mentioned before, people, devotees also don't like to read so much. We're in the digital age, people are much involved in social media, and many prefer to just watch videos instead of reading. So any thoughts on how do you face this challenge of the modern world, and what could be possible solutions to, bring devotees back to the traditional books, or other ways to encourage them? Maybe any thoughts in this regard?
Yes, I don't have to say a formula how to capture the attention of people, because nowadays, with all these devices, people are very distracted on the social media and so on. But somehow we need to, both on site and online, and I don't talk only about educational institutes, because educational institutes by existing are already doing something substantial that pushes people to read the books. But we should, somehow or other, find a way to inspire devotees to prioritize reading Srila Prabhupada's books, whether it is in a systematic environment that they go and take a course and get a diploma, or else they use these devices and computers and any other devices to read Srila Prabhupada's books. Like recently I visited devotees living in Canary Islands, in one of the, quite a remote island, like La Palma. It's not one of the big two islands. This was the place became famous because a volcano erupted 2-3 years back. And some of you may have seen it, and big volcano. And I stayed with one Grihastha couple, and they told me they read the full Srimad Bhagavatam and the full Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by reading 1 hour a day online with other friends outside the island. And this about this, I could see they were so inspired just by doing that, getting together with other devotees, and they will read. They said that we didn't talk too much, we just read. We take turns in reading, 1 verse each devotee, and they became very good friends. Some devotees who were having difficulties in their spiritual lives, by joining this reading group, they are now so inspired. So for me, it was very inspiring to see this, how these new technologies can be used in reading and studying Srila Prabhupada's books.
Mm. Yeah, reading groups is another very, I think, very powerful way. There's a lot of potential. We could have much more of these groups. Yeah. Thank you.
We have it. Go ahead, sorry.
No, we are very systematic in this interview, but you can also, please, if you.
I'll prefer after speaking after Padmanabhan.
Okay. Padmanabhan Prabhu?
Yeah, there are different challenges we have been experiencing, as these are all well-known challenges with the modern technology and other things. Devotees are located in different parts of the world. Many devotees are busy, and they have, work schedule. They have family responsibilities and other obligations in the society. So, taking all these challenges into consideration, we have found that flexible study options are very useful to address such challenges. And this is in regard to systematic study of Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti, all these programs where we are offering these courses at different time zones, at different, with different teachers also. And as far as learning verses are concerned, we found that different devotees are finding it quite challenging. Mm-hmm. We have already started working on a mobile app which will help students to navigate the difficulty of memorizing verses by following this app. That's also effective use of the modern technology. Then, even though there are some language barriers, BBT have been helping us in translating these books into many different languages. This has been very, very helpful. And another thing also I have personally seen, lack of qualified teachers. As I travel to different places, sometimes students, they express this kind of, challenges they face, that when you don't have experienced teacher in knowledge and teaching techniques, it can actually put a challenge to the students. And also sometimes this, for example, Prabhupada's, even if we say Prabhupada explains everything in a very simple way, sometimes it becomes difficult for people to understand these philosophical concepts that Prabhupada explained in his books. Therefore, to simplify it, break down the complexities, the concepts so that they can understand it in a very simple. For example, let me give an example. Prabhupada has very, very clearly defined this concept of Niskam Karma Yoga. Actually, which is a very practical approach for the modern age. Prabhupada has said something in the first 6 chapters. Then when you go to the last, in the 18th chapter, in a few verses, Prabhupada is very succinctly described. Maybe when you are reading first 6 chapters, you may not get a very clear conception about how to give this practical approach to the execution of Niskama Karma Yoga, being a man in this modern 2025. So that requires some sort of expertise by the teacher's side to have a thorough understanding of Prabhupada's purport, where he has said word, and pull it out to present to the correct context, what kind of challenges they are facing, then how it can be addressed. So that requires some sort of expertise that also I have seen. So and also the another challenge I could see is that like modern mind, or people's inconsistent habits, even sometimes devotees also. Devotees may struggle with maintaining consistent study habits because of so many things in their lives. What is priority? They fail to, determine that. Then generation gap also, we can say, the way current generation think totally different from the old generation. So we are trying to offer a variety of study formats and encouraging them to use this technology in an effective way, how that can fulfill their need for meaningful engagement. So in that way, by addressing these challenges with the targeted strategies, we are trying to help devotees to study Prabhupada's books in an effective manner, which can enrich their spiritual experience. The tough, but we are still trying to help, assist, whichever way we can.
Thank you for sharing some of the ideas. Let us know when the Shloka app is ready.
Yes. That's for everybody.
Rajasundar Prabhu.
So we have been organizing reading marathons since the time we started, and encouraging. We have been fortunate that every time we arrange it, at least 3,000-4,000 devotees they subscribe to, they join us, and we start studying. 3,000-4,000 devotees they start studying together. So this has been going on, and we also did that recently. We changed the strategies and we started 21 days reading challenge. So 21 days reading challenge is going on across the world in different countries. We did in India, we got 4,000 plus devotees. And we did in Russia, we did in South Africa, we're doing in different places. Now we did in North America as well. We did now we are doing for Africa. So the mood is very clear, simple thing, that encouraging them to start studying of Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's purports, Srimad Bhagavatam. And we also have a course called as Bhagavad Teachers Training Course. This is only associated with Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya. We don't have it affiliated with like TTC1 and TTC2. It's not like that, just for our Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya. So what we do is we give around 5-6 techniques of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Whichever suits the candidates, they can adopt to that technique. Then we teach them how to make notes for studying, for giving classes, how to give one-day class, how to give a Srimad Bhagavatam class in temple. The 3 techniques of doing those giving classes. Then we have a way of giving, how to give Bhagavad Gita class, how to give a Namahatta class, how to give a Sunday feast class, how to give a seminar on Bhagavatam. So many varieties of classes whichever are going on in our society. We give them training, practical training. There is a batch currently going on, and around 10, 12 devotees have been trained. And they have mostly they have never given classes, but now they are preparing the notes, giving their classes and everything. And so we have trained more than 5,000 plus devotees across the globe just with this particular course. And we're just continuing our efforts to contribute our ahuti in the Bhagavad Dharma sacrifice started by Vyasadeva, Shukadeva Goswami, and Sutta Goswami. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I mean, it's interesting. Padmanabha Prabhu just expressed that he has his experience that sometimes devotees say that there is a lack of teachers. So it's nice that you have a course helping devotees to, get some understanding of how to prepare classes and teach. That's wonderful. All right, I think we are slowly coming to an end to this discussion. I'm very, very grateful. I think it was nice. We learned a lot of interesting aspects in regards to reading Prabhupada's books, the importance of it. Maybe everyone can just give a final thought, a few words. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with the listeners, viewers?
Yes, mine will be very, very simple. Like as we eat every day, we nourish ourselves. So we need to read Srila Prabhupada's books every day. And I mentioned this for listeners because we were talking about the challenge that people tend not to read and be distracted by the modern media and whatever. So yeah, we'll like following the formula of the Harer Nama verse, I will say, read Srila Prabhupada's books, read Srila Prabhupada's books, read Srila Prabhupada's books every day, every day, every day. That it's clear. This will be my message, my recommendation to everyone who is watching and listening to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Important things should be repeated 3 times. Yes.
Yes. So lastly, I want to express that everybody in ISKCON, they're trying to inspire devotees to study Prabhupada's books in different capacity. In Mayapur Institute also, we have started a new program where we have created some curriculum for the children. Currently, over 3,000 children are studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Around 150 teachers are engaged in teaching in different batches. One teacher teaching 2-3 batches. Mostly lady teachers are teaching because they are young children. As you know, considering the CPO rule, so students are staying at home with their parents. They are joining online. And it has been very effective. And I can see many times students and parents also have shown their interest, how it is helping their children. So some other word I see here is that if we can find some ways and means where people will be able to identify their own point of interest in Srila Prabhupada's books, means different devotees are endowed with different intellectual capacity. Whether they may be, having level class mindset or having a very, high class officers type mindset, whatever mindset one may have, one may be born with. But everybody is trying to look for something in Prabhupada's books, how they can get inspiration for their spiritual life. I would highly recommend or encourage the devotees to find their own interest. Like a teacher is going to teach in a class, he also has to find his interest, what he can find in Prabhupada's books so that he can effectively teach. A pujari is doing deity worship program, he studying Prabhupada's books, he's finding those explanations where Prabhupada is speaking about the effectiveness of deity worship to bring in more, conviction to his service to the deities. Similarly, those devotees who may be serving in any area, they need to just find their point of interest and they should look for those points while studying Prabhupada's books. That will be giving them more taste eventually to study entirety of Srila Prabhupada's books with full concentration. And I personally beg blessings from all the devotees in ISKCON. I am studying and I would like to study more Srila Prabhupada's books with an interest to assimilate those teachings of Prabhupada so that I can personally practice in my Krishna consciousness. And if Krishna so desires, maybe one day I can also share with others. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So just like we take food, prasad every day, that nourishes our body. And if we don't do it, then our body gets weak and probably we may starve and we might leave our body. Similarly, food for soul is Harikatha, is Srimad Bhagavatam. And if we neglect that, then the soul is not nourished. Then Bhakti, she has two sons, Jnana and Vairagya. So they will go to sleep. The transcendental knowledge about Krishna will gradually fade away. And instead of getting renounced from the material world, will become attached to the material world. And there is a famous pastime that how Narad Muni, to wake Bhakti Jnana and Vairagya, to help Jnana and Vairagya, he took shelter of four Kumaras and they directed him that we should take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam plays a very crucial role in our lives, especially Vaishnavas. It's a food for a soul. So on an everyday basis, in the scriptures, 7 days process has been mentioned. It is authentic, bona fide process. It was meant for those who have no inclination. So just to bring them, making them inclined towards studying of Srimad Bhagavatam, or the 7 days process is recommended. But for devotees, it is Nityam Bhagavata Seva. That is the sutra for the devotees. And if Srimad Bhagavatam is missing from the life, then I don't know what we are doing. Because then everything around us becomes very different. A soul, nourished soul, approaches, his approach towards everything is different. And a soul which is not nourished, his approach towards everything is different. Our tendencies for fault finding, our tendencies for dullness, and you can say there's so many other things we see. It's all because of not being nourished properly in Krishna consciousness. Srimad Bhagavatam is a food for soul and it's there for nourishment. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. As Sanatana Goswami says, the Bhagavatam is our companion, our friend, our wealth. So thank you so much. I think that's a wonderful point to end. So I thank you again for joining us and sharing your realizations. Very greatly appreciated. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Adhanan Sai Maharaj. Thank you, Padmanabh Prabhu. Thank you, Krishna Prabhupada Prabhu. It was a pleasure to have your association.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.